What part of your house have you sort of discovered has become your favorite room in this time?
Well, we have sort of like an open plan kitchen living room thing, and I'm spending most of my time here. My couch and I have become very well acquainted. It's where I do most of my reading, my eating, my watching TV. I'm glad I invested wisely in a very comfortable one.
So tell me how you've been spending your days. I mean, I've seen that baking is happening, running is happening, sketching is happening. Like, how have you been getting through this time?
I mean, it's been up and down. I had a good charity challenge that I was doing because so many charities in the UK have been experiencing this kind of downgrade in funds. We did a whole charity day. And so, yeah, I had a great week leading up to that where I was really, really busy. I haven't sketched in years, and stupidly, I gave myself this task of drawing over 20 of the cast members or the characters in the show. And that was, that was a full-time job for quite a few days. And the results were not, didn't really show, I would say, all the hard work that went into it. But it was really fun. And that was really nice just to do something very creative and fun in that way. But yeah, bit of exercise. But yeah, lots of eating. And you have to cook it to eat it. So that's been mainly it. It's not very exciting over here.
Wait, which cast member did you find the hardest to draw?
Well, I think the most pressure was obviously Jamie, because I knew everyone would be like, what's Jamie like? And you have to see Jamie. I figured out that all Highlanders, when I draw them, sort of look the same. Rupert sort of turned out a little bit like sad Brad Pitt, which actually Grant was quite happy about. But the women are really hard. And there's so many of the women, like Lotta was really difficult because she's so finely featured. She's like, this Dutch beauty, and it should be done in oils like a Vermeer or something like that. But, it didn't work out very well. And Lauren sort of looked like a Gerber baby in a bonnet. So, so I apologize to all of them.
Have you become a master of self-isolation at this point? Like, talk to me about what you've been doing during quarantine.
It's such a strange time, isn't it? But I think, there's a lot to concern ourselves with at this point. And people are going through, really challenging and trying times. But I think also people are finding almost some sort of relief in the, I guess, just the downtime, right? I mean, I've seen people online, really throwing themselves into finding new challenges and learning new skills, languages. And I think it's important that, in this time, where there is great darkness, that we find, also lightness as well, and that we keep ourselves engaged.
I read online that you and some of your Outlander castmates did a social isolation baking challenge. Talk to me about how that turned out and what else you're doing to sort of keep yourself busy.
Yes, we did. I think our cast has been actually really enjoying some of the engagement we've had. And so we started with a baking challenge, and mine was, I wouldn't say a disaster, but it probably wasn't the best looking piece of baking. I'm not really a baker, so to speak, but it was a pineapple upside down cake, something that my mum used to make for many years when I was a kid, and one of my favorites. But I think we're all trying to find, ways to stay engaged and engage with our fans. But personally, I've been very busy, actually. I've been writing a lot. I've been very fortunate to get a book deal, and have been just working away on that daily. And it's been really rewarding because it's not something I've ever really done before.
So you're finding that this downtime is actually conducive to being creative? Because I would think the opposite. So how has it sort of been a release to have that writing?
Yeah, well, that's a good question because, I think we're very busy normally in our everyday lives, and on our TV show, it has been very, very relentless. We went from our last season, we went straight into a press tour for that. Then I went into a press tour in Los Angeles for a movie that called Bloodshot. And with sort of all that stuff, you don't really have time to sort of sit and reflect on what you've been doing. And this has been a great time for me to really go back over, the beginnings of Outlander and this other TV show that I just created called Clanlands, and just to really relive those moments and go back and even watch, those episodes. And it's been a really nice way to sort of remember certain scenarios that you maybe forget.
Well, because I was going to ask, and maybe this is part of that, like, have you learned anything about yourself during this time? Like, gotten to know yourself in a new way?
Yeah, I think honestly, it is an interesting time for me. You know, I'm about to turn the big 40. And I think for anyone, you know, that's a point in time that needs to be marked. And this solitude and this downtime, so to speak, is certainly giving me time to reflect. And I think it's something going forward, hopefully, when the world heals, and it's going to be a very different world. I know that. But I think, you know, hopefully for myself, I'm going to try and find more time like this where possibly I can have time for myself or time to really work on myself more than, you know, just keep going and keep working.